In the eastern provinces, stories travel faster than soldiers. They whisper of a man with no age, no origin, only a golden mask and a trail of silence behind him. They call him Prince Wu, the King of Shadows, the ghost beneath royal silk. No one sees his face. No one knows his name. Only when he appears does someone disappear. But legends are not always lies, and masks do not always hide monsters. Far from palaces and armies, 3 young wanderers carry questions carved from loss and destinies tied to the man behind the myth. In a town swallowed by sand and memory, truth will rise. But not gently, because when power fades, the past demands to be heard. The Mask of Prince Wu Wuxia Edition. The wind carries ash like falling snow. Pai Yu stands at the edge of what once was home, now a smoldering ruin. The wood is charred black. Roof beams sag like broken limbs. The air is thick with smoke and silence. He doesn't move. His sword stays sheathed. But in his eyes, something begins to burn. He sees the shattered gate, the empty courtyard, and the scorched altar. His father and brother are gone. A single ember drifts past his shoulder. He watches it fade, not with fear, but with resolve. In this silence, vengeance is born. I saw him. Her voice shakes, barely louder than the wind through the wreckage. He wore royal robes and a golden mask that caught the firelight like it was alive. She closes her eyes. The memory burns. He didn't speak. He didn't have to. He stepped through the smoke, slow, certain, and struck them down. Your father. Your brother. A blade lowers in her mind. Blood still glistens on its edge. They say, he's Prince Wu, the king of the underworld. And in the silence that follows, even the shadows seem to listen. The dunes stretch endlessly, golden, vast, unforgiving. Pai Yu walks alone, a black cloak whipping in the wind, his figure a tiny shadow against the burning horizon. Behind him, only ashes. Ahead, only rumor. With each step, the silence deepens. The sun hangs low, casting long shadows across the sand like ghosts that refuse to rest. There are no roads, no signs. Only the stories he's chasing, and the vengeance that won't let him stop. He is no longer a son, no longer a brother. Now he is a seeker, a sword in exile, and the desert is watching. The candle flickers, and so does his breath. Ye Yun kneels on the wooden floor, hands trembling, eyes locked on a letter one thinned by time. The ink has blurred. The words blur, but the meaning cuts through like a blade. His father's name, a place he's never seen, and a signature, Prince Wu. He reads it again, and again, each line heavier than the last. A tear slips down his cheek, but he doesn't wipe it away. His world has just shifted, not with thunder, but with paper and silence. The room smells of earth and herbs. Little Butterfly leans over her father, gently pressing a damp cloth to his brow. His skin burns with fever, yet his hands are cold. She whispers, "I'm here." The candle beside them flickers, casting soft light across his face, lined with age, kindness, and exhaustion. He opens his eyes just long enough to smile. She smiles back, but her eyes are full of dread. He promised to build something far away, a final project. But deep down, she knows this may be the last night he calls this house home. The wind howls across the open plain, carrying dust and fate alike. 3 figures stand beneath a crooked wooden signpost, one by time, pointing west. Pai Yu, Yi Young, Little Butterfly, strangers once. We are bound by blood, memory, and names whispered in fear. No one speaks. Their boots press into the earth to mark the moment, the start of something they cannot yet see. Behind them, loss. Before them, myth. The desert waits, and destiny leans in. The dunes part reveals a town carved from time and heat. From the ridge, the 3 travelers look down, eyes narrowed beneath wide-brimmed hats and dust-smeared brows. It bustles, but barely. Children chase shadows in alleyways, merchants shout into the dry wind. Walls lean like they've forgotten how to stand. It's alive, and dying. The town doesn't welcome. It watches. A place where memory clings to every surface and truth hides behind faded curtains. They step forward, not as tourists, but as threads in a story already written in sand. The curtain stirs with the desert breeze. There she stands, Lady Yang, framed in the doorway like a painting half-faded by time. Her eyes held warmth and something unreadable. The walls behind her are worn and cracked with years, but she remains poised, draped in layered veils, still as a secret. "Welcome," she says softly. It's not just a greeting. It's an invitation. To shelter. To story. To danger. They step inside. Not knowing if she's a protector or a puzzle. Only knowing she will not be forgotten. Years ago, he collapsed at her doorstep, half-starved, half-forgotten. Lady Yang gave him food, then a room, and in time, a life. Now, by day, he teaches children with chalk-dusted fingers. By night, he serves tea with a quiet smile, never asking for more. He moves through the guest house like part of its soul. This evening, he offers a chipped porcelain cup. Steam curls into the lantern glow. "Drink," he says, like it's nothing. But they feel it. The calm, the weight, the mystery hiding in the man who once had nothing. The town sleeps, but the alleys breathe. Wet stone glistens under the moonlight. Shadows twist like waiting hands. Every corner could be a trap. Pai Yu leads, blade drawn. Yihan follows, eyes sharp. Little Butterfly moves like smoke, her dagger ready. Only torchlight guides them, flickering, uncertain. Their footsteps echo too loudly. Their breaths come too fast. In this maze of dust and whispers, even silence feels hunted. They're not just searching, they're being watched, and something is waiting in the dark. The table is simple, the food humble, but the silence full. Lanterns sway gently above them, casting shifting shadows across familiar faces. Wine glistens in chipped cups. No one drinks quickly. Master Li smiles, but there's something behind it. Little Butterfly watches the garden wall instead of her plate. Yinan taps his fingers just once. Pai Yu listens. Words are shared, but not all truths. The night is still, too still. Something waits just beyond the glow of the lanterns. And they all feel it. This is more than dinner. It's the breath before the fall. The firelight dances, but his voice cuts through the glow. Master Li rises, wine in hand, smile fading. "Help me stop Prince Chu," he says. The words fall heavy, like stone, like fate. His gaze burns now, clearer than ever. No longer the teacher, no longer the servant. The warmth in the garden shifts. The shadows grow longer. The lanterns seem to dim. They stare at him. Pai Yu, Ye Yun, Little Butterfly. And for the first time, they'd realize he's not asking. He's warning. And the story just changed. The desert erupts. Dust flies. Blades flash. Screams twist with the wind and blood. Pai Yu strikes first, clean, fast, his blade carving through heat. Yinan moves like a storm, relentless, reckless. Little Butterfly spins, her dagger catching light, then flash. The bandits shout in foreign tongues. Gunshots spark. Swords clash. Sand coats their skin. Sweat blinds their eyes. There's no strategy now, only survival. One wrong step means death. One breath too slow. And still they fight. Because in this chaos, there is no room for mercy. Only motion. Only grit. Only now. The sun shows no mercy. Prince Chu is dragged through the dust, robes torn, fists clenched, voice hoarse from rage. He screams of loyalty, of betrayal, of bloodlines. No one listens. Guards grip his arms. His feet scrape through the sand, leaving broken trails. Once a man feared in whispers, now reduced to shouting at the wind. His crown is gone. His pride tastes like dirt. The people watch. Some cheer. Some turn away. But all see the same truth. Power, once corrupted, must be pulled down. Even if it kicks and screams all the way. The tea grows cold. No one drinks. Pai Yu, Ye Yun, and Little Butterfly stand like statues, shoulders tense, jaws set. Across from them, Master Lai doesn't flinch, but something in his eyes shifts. The light in the room dims, not by time but by truth. Woe on you. It's not shouted. It doesn't have to be. The silence stretches like a blade between them. The man they trusted now sits in the shadow of everything he never said. And they aren't here for comfort. They are here for answers. The torchlight flickers. Master Lai stands. His hands move slowly, almost reverently, as he unties his apron. Dust swirls in the stillness. He lets the fabric fall. Beneath it, a royal sash. Faded. Cold. Real. No one speaks. He lifts his chin, straightens his spine. And in that moment, everything shifts. He is no longer the servant. No longer the scholar. No longer the ghost in the guest house. He is Prince Wu, the king of shadows, the myth made flesh, and they are no longer just travelers. They are witnesses to a forgotten legacy rising. The stone door groans open. Torchlight flickers across carved walls, stories etched in silence. Dust hangs in the air, undisturbed for years. They step inside. At the chamber's center lies a stone bed, and upon it the last king, eyes closed, still, at peace. Prince Wu kneels. His hand trembles as it brushes the old man's fingers, not in mourning, but in memory. No crown remains, no anthem echoes, just legacy and silence. They kneel behind him, not as subjects, but as witnesses to the end of a bloodline and the beginning of something new. His breath catches, eyes wide, lips trembling. The truth strikes harder than any blade. In the flickering candlelight, shadows crawl across his face. It wasn't him, it was them, my brother, my sister-in-law. The words don't make sense until they do. He sees it now. The sideways glances, the half-lies, the blood that wasn't supposed to be there. He had chased a legend and missed the betrayal inside his own home. His hand falls to his side. The sword hangs limp. The war in his chest collapses. A single tear escapes, not for the dead, but for the years he spent hating the wrong man. In that silence, Pai Yu is no longer a hunter. He is a son, grieving again for the right reasons. Prince Wu's hand rests gently on Ye Yun's shoulder. His voice is soft, the weight of decades behind every word. Your father was saved by a foreign warrior. Red hair. Brave to the last. The torchlight flickers. Ye Yun doesn't move. Before the man died, he made your father promise, protect his daughter. She's different, but she matters. Wu's gaze lowers. So your father left, not for glory, not for shame, but to honor that vow. Ye Yun's eyes glistened. He thought his father had abandoned him. Instead, he had chosen kindness, and that choice cost everything. A silence blooms, not of betrayal, but of understanding. Prince Wu lowered himself just enough to meet her eyes. I asked your father to build a castle for my wedding. He came willingly, but the desert took him. His voice trembles, barely. He died of fever. I stayed at his side. I buried him myself. Tiny butterfly's hands clench. Her breath shakes, but no tear falls. She doesn't speak, but she doesn't turn away. Forgiveness may not come tonight, but something gentler begins to rise, in silence, in truth, in love long lost. The wind moves gently, carrying grains of sand and memory. Beneath red lanterns stand side by side, no crown, no procession, only twilight, silk, and silence. Lady Yang's veil dances in the wind. Prince Wu watches her, not as a ruler, but as a man finally at rest. They say nothing. They don't need to. He was once a myth. She, once a widow forgotten by time. Now, together, there's something simpler and stronger. Peace doesn't shout. It stands still and breathes. Let me know if you're ready. The room is still. Dust drifts in the golden beam of sunlight slicing through a cracked window. And on the table, the mask. Golden, silent, waiting for no one. It holds no power now. Only memory. No footsteps echo. No music plays. Just the hush of a story finally letting go. Once it was feared. Then it was followed. Now it simply rests, because the man behind it no longer needs to hide.